What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Detroit Lions Fonza. About a couple days late putting this up, probably because the Lions are on a bye now. We lost to the Giants 20-28. The Lions didn't do too bad. We just got to get rid of the penalties, get rid of some of that stuff. And it's nice to see Calvin Johnson play. He had a very good day. Finally, he had a beast game this year. It was long overdue. It was a pretty good game to watch, but they've got to get rid of some of the penalties and stop beating themselves. They've beaten themselves a lot this year. I think the only game really where I don't believe they really beat themselves was that Viking game. They did have some mistakes in that, but Vikings just took that one. But I'll get back to that. But now onto my picks. You have Cleveland and the Saints. It's in New Orleans. I'm gonna go with the Saints. Cleveland, I don't know. They don't seem to have their groove on what they're trying to do right now. And then you have Philadelphia and the Titans. I'm going to go with Philadelphia. They're hot right now, and I'm liking what I'm seeing out of them. And then you have Buffalo and Baltimore. I'm going to go with Baltimore, of course. Buffalo, they're struggling right now. I'm not sure what the main problem is, but I think their offense just needs to find... They need to find their true identity on offense. I'm not sure. Maybe they should start to do more passes, but then again, it's just a tough situation there in Buffalo. But I'm going with Baltimore. And then you have Cincinnati and Atlanta. Bengals coming off of their bye to face the Falcons. This is a tough one to pick. I don't know. Both Cincinnati and Atlanta. Because I'm not sure if we're going to get the same Bengals, because sometimes the Bengals will be good one week and then the next. I don't know. Maybe they've cleaned some things up in the bye. I'll come back to that one. And then you have Washington and Chicago. This should be a pretty interesting game. This one is in Soldier Field again. Both offensive lines are struggling a little bit, so both sides are going to get after the quarterback. It's really going to come down to which offensive line can hold who better. Since the Bears are at home, I guess I'm going to go with the Bears, but it could go either way. The Redskins could win, the Bears could win, because both of them have, if both quarterbacks had more times, I think both offenses would be much better. The offensive lines are just a little questionable right now, so it's really going to come down to which offensive line can do a little better in their battles. Going to be battle of the trenches for that game. And then you have Pittsburgh and Miami. Big Ben is back, had one pick, 3 touchdowns. I'm going to have to go with the Pittsburgh Steelers here. Could be a good game, though. Miami's doing some stuff right now. I'm liking what I'm seeing out of Miami, and they could make some strides to maybe get a little deeper into the get somewhere in the playoffs this year. You just never know. I'm shy, I believe, one game last season, so yeah. As were the Pittsburgh Steelers, so this could be a good game. Usually is when these two play. And then you have the Rams and Tampa Bay Buccaneers. The Rams got another win. I'm telling you, I'm liking these Rams. They're actually starting to look like a pretty good team to be reckoned with down the line. Same with the Bucks. They both the Rams won. The Bucks just lost to the Saints in pretty much a blowout. But I think some teams that usually have that game once a year or once in a while. But Bucks are a young team, and they're up and coming. But I think I'm gonna have to go with the. Probably going to come down to the quarterback play on this one. Freeman hasn't looked too bad. Bradford hasn't looked bad either. Man, there's so many games. I just don't know who to pick right now. But I'm going to have to I'm going to go with Tampa since they're at home. But that should be an interesting game. And then you have 49ers and Carolina. 49ers finally got their win, so congrats to them. And I'm going to go with the 49ers to get their second win here. And then you have Jacksonville and Kansas City. Jags came off of a tough loss. Kansas City played another close one. I'm going to go with Kansas City here. They seem a little more consistent than the Jags at this point. And then you have Arizona and the Seahawks. I'm going to go with the Arizona Cardinals. Seahawks, yeah, they did beat the Bears, but they seem to be win one, lose one. This is probably their game to lose, but it is a division game, so they're usually close. And it is in Seattle, so yeah, I'm gonna stick with Arizona though. See, they are at home though. I don't know. I'll just go with Arizona. Usually, more often than not, your first pick is usually the one that's right. So, and then you have Oakland and Denver, and is in Vesco Field. I am going to go with the Denver Broncos. They seem a little more consistent at quarterback play, so I'm going with Denver there. Then you have New England and San Diego. San Diego, they're having a lot of troubles in New England. Even without Randy Moss, they're looking like they're a team to reckon with, so I'm going with New England and Tom Brady with the hair. You know, Tom Brady with that hair. I don't know what's going on with that, but they're still doing good. And then you have Minnesota and Green Bay on Monday. It's going to be, well, no, sorry, not Monday. The New York Giants and Dallas is on Monday. I mean Sunday night, and it's going to be on Lambeau Field. Green Bay just came off of another tough overtime loss, and the Vikings came away with their second win. It is in Lambeau Field, but the Packers, I don't know what's going on with that team right now. Like, they have all these weapons and stuff, and they're just not scoring like I thought they were. I'm going to have to go with Minnesota here. Even though it is in Lambeau, I'm going to have to go with Minnesota. And then, you know, Monday night, you got the Giants in Dallas. I think Dallas will be winning this game. I don't know. Just seems, the Cowboys, they have all this offensive firepower. They've been doing so much, and they just haven't been getting the win, and they're on home Monday night. I think they'll come away with this one. This is going to be a close one. Usually the Giants swept them last year, but I think they might go 1-1 this year. I think Dallas will get this one mainly. It's on Monday night, and then they're playing in Cowboys Stadium, so they're at home field. So I'm gonna have to go with the Cowboys here. It's gonna be close. And what was the game that I did not pick? I believe it was that Cincinnati and Atlanta game. Yeah, it was that one. Well, I'm gonna have to go with. I'll just go with Cincinnati. It's gonna be a close. It should be relatively close. I don't think it'll be a blowout. As long as the Bengals don't screw themselves like they have been for the past couple games, I think they'll be all right. Well, they haven't lost their past couple games, but they've just lost a couple questionable games. Particularly their two last ones they just had. But we'll see how that goes. And leave your comments and let me know what you guys think. And see you next time on the Detroit Lions Fonza.